The top 10 hidden skills every first responder needs. These are the skills that aren't always taught in training but are critical in the field. They face the toughest situations head-on, relying not just on their training but on a set of hidden skills, a sixth sense honed by experience. These skills can be the difference between managing chaos and succumbing to it, between saving a life and, well, Today, we're exploring those crucial, often overlooked skills that make a good first responder a great one. In the field, it's not just about bandages and backboards, it's about understanding the human terrain as much as the physical one. It's like tracking an animal in the wild. You've got to read the signs, anticipate their next move. A first responder walks into a room. They're not just seeing a patient, they're seeing a family dynamic. They're feeling the tension, the fear. That's emotional intelligence, or EQ. It's about staying calm amidst the storm, being the rock for people who are crumbling. And when someone's world is crashing down, you need that rock-solid presence, that empathy that says, I hear you, I see you, and I'm here for you. But it's also about self-preservation. You can't let the trauma of others consume you. You learn to compartmentalize, to separate your emotions from the situation, all while still showing genuine compassion. That's the tightrope walk of a true first responder. You learn to trust your gut. Something feels off, your instincts kick in. First responders develop this almost supernatural ability to sense when something's not right. You walk into a scene and it's like your spidey senses are tingling. Maybe it's a bystander acting a little too shifty, a patient story that doesn't quite add up, or just a feeling in the air, a change in the atmosphere. It isn't about paranoia, it's about pattern recognition, experience telling you something's not quite as it seems. And when those alarm bells start ringing, you better listen. The most dangerous predator you'll meet is another human being, and in the first responder world, that's no different. An agitated patient, a distraught family member, even a fellow responder having a tough day. Emotions run high in this line of work, but you can't fight fire with fire. You need to be the calm in the storm, the voice of reason in a sea of chaos. De-escalation is a skill, an art form almost. It's about reading body language, using your voice as a tool, choosing your words carefully. It's about diffusing tension, finding common ground, and reminding everyone that you're on the same team. Sometimes all it takes is listening, a moment of genuine connection to turn a volatile situation around. Chapter 4, Multitasking Under Pressure. The ultimate juggling act. It's a constant juggling act, monitoring vital signs, relaying information over the radio, comforting a scared patient, all while keeping your cool. This isn't your average multitasking, this is next level stuff. It's about prioritizing in real time, knowing what needs your attention first, what can wait, and what can be delegated. It's about staying focused amidst the chaos, keeping a clear head when everything around you is spinning. The ability to multitask under pressure is what separates the rookies from the pros. Chapter 5, Nonverbal Communication. The unspoken language. In the wild, silence speaks volumes. Animals communicate through subtle cues, a flick of the tail, a stare. Humans are no different, especially in high-stress situations. First responders, they become masters of this unspoken language. It's not just about what you say, it's how you say it, or sometimes what you don't say at all. A reassuring touch on the shoulder, a confident stance, maintaining eye contact. These are all signals that convey trust, empathy, and control. But it's also about reading the other person. Are they tense? Are they hiding something? Are they about to crack? It's about picking up on those subtle cues that can mean the difference between a situation escalating or de-escalating. Chapter 6, Dark Humor. control, finding light in the darkness. Let's be honest, when you're facing life and death situations on a regular basis, you need a release valve. Out in the wild after a tough day, we might share a laugh around the campfire, a way to bond, to blow off steam. First responders have their own way of coping dark humor. It's not about being insensitive, it's about finding light in the darkness, a way to process the unimaginable. A well-timed joke, a shared glance, it can break the tension, build camaraderie, and remind everyone that they're not alone. But it's a fine line to walk, knowing when to use humor, when to hold back, when to be a shoulder to cry on. That's the real skill. Chapter 7, Unconscious Competence. Autopilot in action. When you've practiced a skill 1,000 times, building a fire, tying a knot, finding your way with a compass, it becomes second nature. Your body just knows what to do, even under pressure. That's unconscious competence. And it's a lifesaver for first responders. Think about it. You're starting an IV, taking a blood pressure, performing CPR. These are all complex tasks, but when you've done them hundreds of times, they become almost automatic. This frees up your mind to focus on the bigger picture, assessing the situation, anticipating problems, making critical decisions. It's like having a mental autopilot that allows you to think clearly when it matters most. Every corner of this planet, every culture, has its own customs, its own ways of communicating, its own beliefs about life and death. First responders, they're not just operating in one world, they're navigating a kaleidoscope of cultures. They might be treating a patient who speaks a different language, comforting a family with different religious beliefs, or respecting cultural norms they're not familiar with. It's understanding that what's considered respectful in one culture might be offensive in another. It's about being sensitive to different communication styles, knowing when to speak up, when to listen, and when to defer to someone with more cultural understanding. It's about meeting people where they're at, with empathy and respect, no matter their background. There's no room for ego. Sometimes you lead the charge, sometimes you take a step back and let someone else take point. First responders, they understand this dance. 1 minute, they're the ones giving orders, taking control of a chaotic scene. The next, they're supporting a colleague, following their lead. It's about knowing your strengths, knowing when to step up and when to step back. It's about being adaptable, flexible, and putting the needs of the situation above all else. A true leader knows that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is empower someone else to take the reins. First responders become like investigators, documenting every detail of a scene, even when they're under immense pressure. It's not just about filling out paperwork, it's about anticipating questions, protecting themselves and their patients. They're thinking about the hospital, the lawyers and the insurance companies, asking themselves, what information will they need? What details will be important later? It's about painting a clear picture of what happened, even if the memory of the event becomes hazy. These are the skills that aren't always taught in a classroom, but are forged through experience in the heat of the moment. It's about having that sixth sense, that intuition, that guides them through the toughest challenges. It's about being more than just a medic, a firefighter, or a police officer. It's about being a protector, a confidant, a beacon of hope in dark times. So, next time you see a first responder, remember the hidden skills they carry. They are the silent guardians, the watchful protectors, the ones who run towards danger when everyone else is running away.